Welcome to the Energy Connect studio at ADIPEC 2022. I'm delighted to have sitting next to me Vimal Kapur, President and COO of Honeywell. Thank you so much for giving me your time.
I appreciate having me.
What's Honeywell's view on which technology must be prioritized to propel decarbonisation in the energy industry in the near term?
So, it's energy transition is a pretty complex topic, and you can't pick one golden nugget to say you do this one thing and it's going to magically solve it. The way we talk about is in 5 sub areas where Honeywell is participating in an active manner. The first one is all about energy emissions measurement, because we all are defining standards that we want to be carbon neutral by different timelines. But it's important to define the baseline for which you need a real-time measurement systems. So that's the first area where we are spending a lot of R&D effort and new products. After you have measured, you want to reduce it as much as possible before you find different ways to offset it. So energy efficiency becomes the second area of focus. We believe that there's a lot more can be done on energy efficiency, whether it's in plants, whether it's in buildings, because 15 or 20% reduction in what we consume is a good way to reduce the challenge which is in front of us. After we've done those two, then really comes the hard part now, which is the energy transition question you're asking. So electrification is a big part of it. And in electrification, we are primarily focused on energy storage. We are developing technologies for long-term energy storage, which are going to be critical to complement solar and wind power. Then as you move along, then we really come to what we say hard to abate sectors, because electrification can solve many problems, but not all the problems. That's where technology like carbon capture for upstream comes in. That's where hydrogen as an alternative fuel or alternative energy source comes in, or technologies to produce sustainable aviation fuel comes in.
Absolutely.
And last but not the least is plastic circularity, because we believe that circularity is going to be an important element of sustainability. So all this range of technologies, there are things which are available today and there are things which will be available tomorrow. And I think everybody has to work together to really see what's the most feasible things today, which we can make more practical.
I mean, I think, as you said, stuff here for the near term and then the long term. And what do you see also about, we're here at ADIPEC, but obviously the opening remarks from Dr. Sultan Al-Jaber, really talking about, lowering emissions is a big push here. So you really feel that sort of in the Middle East region, that the sort of decarbonisation push is really here to...
Right, absolutely. And I think there are multiple ways to look at reducing emissions. Simple could be not flaring or minimizing the flaring, and that's kind of an easier start. Then there are actions on carbon capture, and then sequester it or reuse it. So we think there are a range of options which will be available for us to reduce the emissions.
In your view, Vimal, who should be taking the lead in driving the energy transition? I mean, obviously the oil and gas companies, governments, or the private sector, or a combination of all?
I think there are three. There are three important stakeholders here. The companies which provide technology. So that's a company like Honeywell. We have different process technologies, different equipment. Then we have users, which are NOCs and IOCs, which have to adopt those technology and decarbonize themselves. And then there's a government. Now the role of government here is critical, because these technologies, many of them do not have a clear economic feasibility. So how does a government enable a technology to become economically feasible, either some kind of financial support or financial incentive, or through regulation? And so the answer to your question is, it's going to be all the three stakeholders have to work together, the technology providers, the end users, and the government, really to build an ecosystem. Because if we have to do it pace, we have to do it different, and that requires much deeper connection with each of the stakeholder.
Absolutely. And with all of this, I mean, talking about technology, but digital transformation, it's so important. What is Honeywell doing to help the energy industry achieve this transformation?
We see that the digital transformation is an important element of being more energy efficient.
Yeah.
Because one of the elements for us in energy transition is to consume less energy, and for that you have to run the plants better. And running the plants better, you essentially want to adopt the different tools you have in your hand, and that's where we have a lot of operational technology which we work with customers to work on that area.
Absolutely, Vimal. And obviously, we're coming to the end of 2022, but what's your outlook for the energy industry in the coming years and also potential opportunities?
Look, I'm an optimist. I do believe that 2050 is a marker which many companies and countries have stated to be carbon neutral. And I believe that there's enough technology available today and will become available. And as long as we are able to work together with our customer to prove these technologies and government provide the right incentives, I'm a firm believer that the energy transition will happen successfully. It looks a bit nervous, looks like it's hard. Yeah, it is hard, and we should all feel challenged about it. But I believe that with the technical ability of all the companies and all the governments and all the companies, we should be able to get it done. So I'm an optimist.
Well, Vimal, always better to be an optimist. And I'd just like to thank you again for popping around the Energy
I appreciate
Connection.
the opportunity to talk to you.
Thanks a lot.
Thank
and have
you.
a great rest of the show.
Yeah, thank you. Bye-bye.